So you walk into a grocery store, you pull out whatever means to pay, you pay, and the teller gives you kind of a weird look. She makes a little call on her buzzer. Then two guys come over and they say, "I'm sorry, sir. We can't call you sir, can we not? But I'm sorry, this transaction has been denied. Unfortunately, you are not authorized to buy this food. However, all video games and pornography are still open to you." And if you think that's pretty far-fetched to happen, the plans of the people who consider themselves in charge of the people of the earth have already bragged about this, saying that this will be a wonderful means of control. You can not only control who buys what, but how much of it they can buy also. You can put limits. Whatever you can imagine is possible with programming the code. It will all be one unified system. They already said that there needs to be interoperability, meaning they all have to be interconnected. One digital currency is able to be crossed with another digital currency seamlessly. They use this as a premise for saving the earth because of climate change, because of each person's personal carbon tax. It's a means to control people. How could this ever happen without a global governance? A global system of buying and selling. Now, this isn't just going to happen all of a sudden. It's being implemented. 90% of the countries on Earth are now implementing a CBDC, central bank digital currency. And this currency, they're not going to come out and say, okay, this is the mark of the beast you get in your right hand or your forehead. You cannot buy or sell. Of course, everybody knows that. So it's going to be a form of deception. So what are the three main pillars of global rule? Digital money, digital identification, and climate action. Countries are being incentivized to get central bank digital currencies online ASAP. This is a major pillar in the plan in order to control everything, because not only can you control what people buy, how much of it they buy, you can control everything about it. You can give permissions regarding what they buy. Could be forbidden from buying certain things. Also, you can control location with this identification system, to where at first they're going to implement it as an identification, and everybody has the ability to have identification. That's a human right. How will everybody go along with this? Well, it won't be willingly. Look at the papers of all these people who are planning all these things for us. They continually say interoperability, which means computer languages and the communications are all going to be interlinked into one entity. It may not seem that they're all together, but they all are on one system. Now, how will this happen? How will they roll this out? It's already started. The climate change, as you saw in the title. The climate change is evil. Have we forgotten about Al Gore, global warming, and how his scientists got busted fabricating all the information? He pulled a hoax on the entire world. He made a movie about it, An Inconvenient Truth. He fooled a lot of people. So after that narrative collapsed and fell apart, they renamed it to climate change. So here's the funny thing about that. They've only been keeping track of the climate for a little over 100 years. So how can they know? It certainly is changing. Everybody knows that. It gets hot, gets cold, according to the seasons. But this climate change thing, they can use this as a means of control. If you look at it, they're literally shutting down food production in certain countries in the name of saving the environment. So these studies, they're anti-human. The elite's agenda, and if you look at everything they're doing, it goes towards this depopulation. They feel that there's too many people on this earth, and it's up to them to eliminate them so that they can have it for themselves. I mean, that's quite selfish, not to mention it's not going to happen, because Yahweh Elohim is going to destroy those who have destroyed the earth. And that's the greatest hoax of it all. Everybody is going to be on board with saving the earth and not trashing it and polluting it and destroying it. But they are using this, the same people who fly a jet plane across the earth and use more carbon emissions than a normal person would in an entire year. Those are the people that are saying, you have to lower your thermostat. You are going to have to make sacrifices. Human beings are destroying the earth. Now, if you look at these studies, every study that has an agenda, look at who's paying for the study. Look at who is behind the study. And that's how they were able to use science, medicine, academics of the earth to pull the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on humanity. The idea was to get a certain substance in people's arms so that then their life cycle would be shortened. And unfortunately, that's the case. And if you look at, there's a spike in what had happened. If you draw a graph, when a certain event was rolled out, People started perishing in a very, very fast and high degree. Oh, and the medical professionals and doctors, they just can't figure it out. It's such a coincidence. Now the headlines read that heart attacks are on the rise. A new COVID strain is cause of that. See what they do? That leads me into my point. In order to not be deceived, we have to have the words of the Most High, the Creator. All of the words, even the ones that are rejected by modern scholars. Those are the ones that speak of the prophecies, the things that are coming upon the earth in these last days. So there's a reason why certain principalities and forces don't want us to have this information. Good and truth, Elohim, the God of all creation, he gives us a choice. Evil coerces and forces and deceives into getting their will accomplished. He gives us a choice. Which one do you choose? So our next video, we're going to be going into the hard things. We're going to not only survive, but thrive in these last days with his words. He wants it this way. He doesn't want us to struggle and be fearful. That's what Yahusha says over and over. Be not afraid. Watch and be ready. And that's what we intend to do. How do we overcome in these last days? We need the belt of truth, which is the word of Elohim, the word of God, first and foremost. But then we need to have correct information. And so when we see events happening and unfolding before our eyes, we can correctly decipher what they are and who they are coming from and see and know the signs of the times. Look for my next video. If you like this content, you get any value out of it, please like, share, subscribe. Perhaps if I've earned your subscription, I really appreciate it. As always, have a blessed day.